Hey, Soul Seekers, Johanna Burkhardt here, the Soul Shaman. And today we're going to talk about two of the most unusual and rare intuitive senses that we have and how to recognize if you have them and how to further develop them. Well, one anyway. We are going to be talking about Clairalience and Clairgustance, which is clear smelling and clear tasting. Now, I want to start off by saying that these are both psychic and non-psychic abilities. And so you can have them and not really be in that psychic realm or more open intuitive energy, if you will. And I also have to say that if you have one of these, there's a good chance you have them both. And you're just not kind of tuning into it. I also see this a lot with people who are chefs because they have the palate. They can smell the ingredients and know if the whole concoction, if you will, is on or off. It's the same as they can isolate tastes when they taste something. Like when they take a spoonful of sauce, they can isolate and identify the different ingredients that are in it. So when it comes to the psychic side of this, how does that show up? And what do you do with it? So Clairalience, also known as clear smelling, is really correlates to receiving the messages through the sense of smell. So there's a couple of ways that I want to explain this and interpret this to you. Now, I have both of these abilities. They are not something that is super prevalent, right? It's not something I use all the time or shows up all the time. But let me tell you, as a medium, as somebody who does a lot of intuitive channeling and information for other people, these senses, when they show up and are used, make a world of difference. So case in point, if a fragrance comes in, right? If I'm not wearing perfume, which I generally don't, if no one else is in the room and I'm in my office and I'm doing a session and all of a sudden I get this overwhelming fragrance and I'm able to describe this fragrance, I am in a sense validating to the person that I'm speaking with that their grandmother or their mother or their father is here. Because I will be describing that fragrance and they will know instantly that is the perfume that my mom or grandma used to wear. Now, for me, this started showing up with an unpleasant smell of cigarettes. I used to smoke for a very long time, and when I quit, I did not want to smell it anymore. But when it would come in, or cigars, I would know that it was my father. My father was a smoker, and he smoked both cigarettes and cigars. And so I would get that knowing. And I've also been able to further tune into this with angelic or other beings because some will come and show up for me with a fragrance. Okay, so there's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is to invoke a memory, right? So if you're sitting on the sofa and you're watching TV and hanging out with your family and all of a sudden you get an overwhelming smell of something and nobody else is smelling it, then you definitely have this gift. And so what does that smell then mean for you in that moment? So one, it'll either immediately invoke a memory, right? So maybe it's the smell of a campfire, or maybe it's the smell of your mom's cooking, something that she used to make all the time. Maybe it reminds you of a time and place somewhere. If that's not happening, then you want to tune into the emotional side of this. So think back to what you were feeling right before you smelled that scent, whatever it is. And then once you smelled it, what happened in your energetic field? How did your emotions shift? And what is that telling you? So sometimes they will bring in a scent to help bring awareness to our emotional body and what's happening, whether it's helping us to shift our vibration or mood or helping us to see a different perspective. It has a lot to do with our emotional body because, again, we are sensing this. And we're sensing it through the awareness of smell, right? The smell is what gets our attention. And then we tune into our body and say, what's happening here? What's emotionally happening here? What's happening with my mood? How did this scent shift everything for me? Or what awareness did it bring to me? Okay. I will also tell you that sometimes they will bring in funny smells or ones that are not so pleasant, like rotten eggs and things like that, just to be funny, to get you to lighten up, right? To kind of get you to, again, shift your vibration. Also, smelling a wet dog, interestingly enough. If your current dog is not wet and you smell a wet dog in your house, that's usually a sign that a past pet is in your presence and letting you know that they are there and that they're okay. And so that is such a beautiful gift. So you can't really develop this gift. There's something that you have very prevalent in your energy or you don't. But you can practice using it and kind of develop it further if you have it. And the way that you want to do that is by, when you're out, say walking, you want to try to isolate the different fragrances of flowers versus trees. If you're cooking, you want to kind of try to isolate the different scents. You know how like if you would go wine tasting, you know, people are always, I smell a woody sense here or floral. You kind of want to learn to isolate the stuff. So that is a really good way. Plus, when you do smell a scent when nobody else is around, you want to tune into that emotional body immediately. You want to tune in. Is this reminding me of something, or how was I feeling and how do I feel now? And helping you to shift your vibration. It's bringing your awareness to this and asking for more that allows it to further develop. So the other one is Clairgustance. It is clear tasting. And again, they kind of go hand in hand. If you have one, you probably have the other. And clear tasting is not one that you can develop either. It's something that you either have or you don't. But when you're tasting things, again, this makes you a much better medium or psychic because it's going to be validating on a way that you can't even explain, right? So by telling somebody, oh my gosh, I have this weird taste in my mouth, and describing it, or maybe it's a yummy taste, it invokes a memory or a resonance within the person that you are speaking with. If you're not working with somebody and it comes in, it could be to invoke a memory or to shift your vibration. It's also a good telltale sign if you are releasing or purging something from your system, like fears or doubts, or just kind of shedding a layer. Oftentimes when I'm moving through a big fear that I have, and releasing it, I'll get the taste of metal in my mouth. And it doesn't taste good, right? But again, it's my sign that I'm shedding something very deeply there. The other thing is, again, with the cigarettes, and because it's the one that I get the most, if my dad comes around and, you know, I don't smell it, maybe I'll taste the cigarette. And it's disgusting. And I ask for it to be released usually right away. But it's my sign of knowing that he's here with me without seeing him or hearing him. Sometimes they just want you to know they're there and that they're supporting your energy, right? That they're helping you as they're messing with my nose right now, which is, you know, just to be like, hi, I'm here. You know, I can feel it. Anyway. So if this is something that you already have, right? This is already one of your abilities. You've noticed it coming in. You have no reason to be smelling or tasting certain things. With the taste one, the way that you can further develop it is when you're eating is to slow down, is to enjoy the food and try to isolate the different ingredients in the food, right? And just really pay attention to the texture and the flavoring and how the flavoring develops, and maybe the smell that correlates with it. This is the best way to really develop that sense, because it is going to be another way for you to receive messages and have that guidance that everyone is so often seeking, right? But it does come, again, from within you. This is my mission, is to help you know that all of the answers, everything that you are seeking, is within you. And we have this beautiful guidance system always guiding us through all these different avenues of our own abilities, of our own sensory. So understanding our body, understanding our energy, understanding our senses is what's going to be our guiding factor on this journey. So please like, share, and subscribe. Let other people figure out if they smell things or taste things. And I will see you on the next video. Namaste.